Have you ever prayed and felt like nothing is changing? You are crying out to God, doing everything right, but your breakthrough feels stuck. You have been faithful, you have been consistent, but the silence from heaven feels louder than ever. Maybe you have been asking, Lord, what else can I do? Well, maybe it is time to add fasting to your prayer life, because fasting is not just an old religious practice. It is a powerful spiritual discipline that aligns your heart with God's power and will. Today, let us talk about fasting for spiritual breakthrough, a practical guide for beginners. By the end of this video, you will not only understand fasting, you will know exactly how to start and why it works. Fasting is not about punishing yourself or earning points with God. It is about replacing physical hunger with spiritual hunger. It is when you say, Lord, you are more important to me than food, than entertainment, than comfort. In the Bible, fasting is always tied to seeking God deeply. Jesus fasted 40 days before beginning his ministry in Matthew 4:1-2. Esther fasted before risking her life for her people in Esther 4:16. The early church fasted before making major decisions in Acts 13:2-3. So fasting is not about deprivation, it is about devotion. When you fast, you are turning down the noise of the world to turn up the volume of God's voice. It humbles your soul, clears your mind, and aligns your spirit to God's direction. So why does fasting lead to breakthrough? Because fasting is a spiritual weapon. When you silence your flesh, your spirit becomes sharper and more sensitive to God's leading. Suddenly, Scripture becomes alive, prayers feel deeper, God's presence feels stronger. In Mark 9:29, Jesus said this kind can come out only by prayer and fasting. There are certain spiritual battles that cannot be won by prayer alone. They require a deeper surrender, and fasting is that surrender. When you fast, walls begin to crumble, not because you are strong, but because you have made room for God's strength. Fasting does not twist God's arm. It softens your heart. It is not about making God move. It is about positioning yourself where He can move. Now let us talk about the practical side. There are 4 types of fasting. A complete fast is water only and is what Jesus did for 40 days in the wilderness. It should only be done for short periods and only if you are physically able. A partial fast, like the Daniel fast, focuses on simple foods like fruits, vegetables, and water, and is perfect for those who want to fast for a longer period while maintaining strength. An intermittent or time-based fast is very beginner-friendly, where you skip 1 or 2 meals a day and spend that time in prayer and worship. A non-food fast means fasting from social media, television, or anything that steals your attention from God. Fasting is not limited to food. It is about whatever helps you give God your undivided attention. Here is how to begin your first fast step by step. First, prepare your heart. Do not just stop eating, start seeking. Before you begin, pray and ask God what He wants to show you through this fast. Your motive matters. You are not fasting to impress God, but to invite Him deeper into your life. Second, set a clear goal. Be specific. Say, I will fast 1 meal a day for 3 days to seek God's guidance about my next step. Third, replace meals with prayer and the Word. If you skip food but do not pray, that is just dieting. Fasting is powerful only when it is paired with prayer and Scripture. Read passages like Isaiah 58, Psalm 63, and Matthew 6. Fourth, stay hydrated and rest well. Drink water and do not push your body too hard. Your goal is spiritual strength, not exhaustion. Fifth, end your fast gently with light meals like soup or fruits, and let the physical act of ending your fast mirror the spiritual gentleness of God's presence. Now, the mistakes to avoid. Do not fast to impress people. Jesus said, when you fast, do not look somber, because your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Do not fast without prayer, because if you skip food but never pray, you are just starving yourself. Do not be too hard on yourself if you mess up, because God looks at your heart, not your perfection. And do not ignore your health. If you are under medication, seek wisdom before doing intense fasts. The rewards of fasting are real and powerful. Isaiah 58:8 says, "Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear." You receive fresh direction from God. Strongholds and addictions begin to break. Your prayers carry new authority. Your heart becomes still and confident, and you experience God's presence in a deeper and more intimate way. Start small. Fast one meal a day for 2 days, or try a half-day social media fast. Do not aim for perfection, aim for connection. The goal of fasting is not to get something from God, it is to get closer to Him. Every hunger pang is a reminder. God, you are what I truly need. When you fast with faith and pray with passion, God will meet you in that place of surrender, because fasting does not change God, it changes you. It resets your priorities, it reawakens your spirit, and it opens the door for breakthroughs that words alone could never unlock. So take that first step today and watch what God does in return.